Good evening, welcome to the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship here on BSRTC. This is round 16, live from Road America, the first of 3 races this evening in the Kia Optima. As usual, calling the shots, Chris Cohen, joined by Adam Barr. So, evening, Adam.
Yeah, good evening, Chris. Looking forward to some great touring car racing.
And it's quite a long circuit as well, isn't it? Over 2 minutes a lap, which is going to make things especially tricky because the lap count's going to be low. If you run into any problems around Road America, famous American circuit here, you're going to have a long old haul back to the pits unless you happen to stack it right outside the pit lane, which I guess is not beyond the realms of possibility. But it's about the midpoint through the championship right now. 33 rounds this season, so we'll be beyond the midpoint by the time that this evening comes to an end. And the standings are rather interesting because it's fairly close at the top.
Yeah, we've got some pretty big names up there. Coba Lopez is he leading the standings? I'm just getting him up at the moment. And the top 4 look like they're going to be in with a shot with the championship, with Justelli and Chepalewski and looking in on the battle.
Well, Andreas Katz as well in 5th place. We'll bring up those standings in just a moment once we can get to them. We're just joining up with the session right now to bring you some pictures from the live circuit. These guys have got about 10 minutes of warm-up to go through before we head down to the grid. But the top 10 looks a little bit like that right at the moment. So Katz really moving up from 7th to 5th on the back of some really good performances the last time round. He has won the championship in the past, and I wouldn't say he's a threat. He's a long way back, but you never know. There's 100 points on offer for the winner of every race here, which means that if something happens to, say, Jamie Rushworth, for example, I'm not singling him out to put the commentator's curse on him or anything, but if something were to happen to him in the first race, he's way down the order in the other 2 races, and it could cost a lot of points. Linus Brustrom also moving into the top 10. Some good results for him, but a disappointing qualifying session for the Swede.
Yeah, he's starting outside the top 20, so let's see if he can move his way up through the 2 races and get a good spot in the reverse grid for the final race.
Well, it's really going to be between Lopez, Rushworth and Hoog. Savidovic, also always a threat. Never really struck me as a front runner or a race winner, Adam. More like a guy who just finishes absolutely every race, normally in the top 10. So a different kind of threat, perhaps, from Savidovic.
Yeah, Savidovic has had 2 race wins this season, one at Spa and one at Suzuka. But you're right, he has been scoring consistently throughout the season, and let's see if he can continue as we head into the second half.
Well, Jamie Rushworth is there on the YouTube channel saying, woohoo, broke Coba Lopez's pole streak, and Lopez has been the qualifying master throughout this season so far. He's been really strong, but he missed out, so he's going to be starting from 2nd place this time round, which should liven things up off the grid. And it takes a lot of effort to out-qualify Coba Lopez, doesn't it?
Yeah, we've seen how strong he is throughout the season, and he was unlucky, Coba Lopez, in qualifying. Got held up by a few cars and had to abort his run, but so did Rushworth as well. They're only separated by 42 hundredths of a second, so that shows you how close it is between these 2 championship contenders.
And the big news in the top 20, well, the 11 to 20 really, is Laura Bond's meteoric rise, if you like. 9 positions in the last 3 races, and that was largely due to her 2nd place in the final race last time out, which is on YouTube, as always, if you want to go back and watch that later. Jeroen Kaiser also doing very well, and he's 13th in the championship, but really had a very good qualifying session, Adam.
Yeah, he popped up out of nowhere at the end and managed to get 9th place on the grid, and with the top 10 reversed in race 2, don't count him out for a win.
CQR a little bit quiet this evening. We have no Ash Sutton that I know of, no Russell Laidler tonight. They're the main 2 big guns for CQR, so with those 2 out of the way, could be a very low points haul, and you can see Sutton dropping down the table there, and he just hasn't had the consistency this season, Adam.
No, it's either been a crash or a disqualification that's hindered him throughout this season, so that's why he's been dropping down the standings. But let's see if they can come back at the next round at Indianapolis.
Well, the team standings after 15 races, Chrome Restart are out on top, but not by a lot. When you consider there's 4 drivers in each team and a maximum of 100 points from a race, you could get a huge point score if all of your drivers finish really highly. And only 79 points separate MovieGo from Chrome Restart. MovieGo last season's champions, don't forget. STP Bianco there, in a slightly different form, were runners-up in a very closely fought battle. eBay Motors dropping down the order a little bit. They were in second at the same stage last week. And the Pertec team just keeps going from strength to strength. They're actually outscoring CQR on points at the moment, which wouldn't be the case if you looked at the team standings, the team lineup, I should say, on paper.
Yeah, Pertec have been going from strength to strength, mainly due to Kevin Critchley's win last time out at Circuit of the Americas, and they have been up there throughout the whole season, have had a bit of misfortune go their way, so it's good to see Pertec Racing, after a struggle last season, back up there.
Well, after a detailed look at the scores, we're in a luxurious position really to still have 5.5 minutes to get down to the grid. We're normally a lot tighter on time, but I think the race starting a little bit later than usual this evening. So we were talking about Laura Bond a little bit earlier and her 9 position gain as 2 of those cars deciding to try and join into one, and it's not going to work during the warm-up session or during the race either. We were talking about her a little bit earlier, and we had a chance during the off-season to talk to her in a little bit more detail.
I'm Laura Bond, I'm 35-ish, from Newcastle. I run in the Kias on a Thursday, British Touring Car Championship, and on a Wednesday for fun I do the Porsche. I joined Christmas 2011. Years ago I played Gran Turismo 4 and 5, but I lost interest. The multiplayer wasn't up to much, and I got a bit bored on my own. I think the penalty system is really good. It's never going to be like real life, but it does actually have consequences for poor driving, poor safety, so I like that. I really like the community, the Mumble gang. We have good fun, we have good chat, racing against each other. So I think the Mumble and community side of things is a good thing. And my favourite car is the Kia. Slow girl at the back to mid-pack runner. I've improved a lot over the last year. Progress is now slowing, but I'm hoping to achieve and maintain a mid-pack runner. My best placing is a second place finish at Okayama in season 3. Adam Terry, my now teammate, just pipped me to it. And my worst was definitely pole at Laguna Seca, losing it in the corkscrew and messed up a whole load of people's races and championships maybe. My goal before I set out was to get a top 15 finish. I thought top 10 was a bit ambitious. The field we've got is really strong. So I think I'm 14th at the moment, so I'm hoping I can go better than that, or at least maintain that.
Well, back over to the live feed in about 2.5 minutes till we go back down to the track for the grid. And here to run you through that grid is Adam Bath.
Yes, on pole position it's Jamie Rushworth with a time of 2 minutes 16.2 seconds. Alongside him will be Ade Koba Lopez, and third place is Stefan Hug. the top three separated by less than a tenth of a second. 4th place, Delian Chepelevsky. 5th place is Wojciech Savidovic. Then 6th place is Andreas Katz. 7th place is the STP Bianco car, Adam Terry. Then in 8th place is David Baker. 9th is Jerome Kaiser, we spoke about him earlier, having a great qualifying. And in 10th is Tim Mawson. 11th is Alexander Smolensky. 12th is Stanimir Zuzov. 13th, Richard Wild. 14th, Simon Field. 15th, Reggie Blaine, the first of the MovieGo cars that is not Jamie Rushworth. 16th is Nick McCarron. 17th, Laura Bond. 18th, Daniel Hunt. 19th, Julian Janowski. And in 20th is Scott Malcolm. Then in 21st we find Linus Bostrom. 22nd, Robert Plumley. 23rd, Matt Walker. And then in 24th, Robert Graham. And then in 25th place is Steve J. Richardson.
A whole load more of those as well, but no time to go through all of those. Scott Malcolm, though, inside the top 20, out-qualifying Linus Brustrom. That's a good qualifying position for him to start from. Let's hope he can maintain that during the race, Adam.
Yeah, but once again, Jamie Rushworth is a bit isolated because Chepelevsky, he's got Smolensky near him, so hopefully Rushworth doesn't have to depend on his teammates.
Well, in actual fact, Zuzov as well qualified fairly highly, so there are 3 UASA racing drivers in the top 12. So they've done a very good job. In terms of STP Bianco, we've got 2 in the top 7, and Chrome Restart, I'm just having a look there, 2 in the top 8, 3 in the top 9, I guess. So Chrome Restart probably odds on to score the most points, really, if they can maintain their grid positions. But as we know, it's never that simple, is it? We've got 15 seconds here to the grid, but they're going to shuffle about a bit.
Yeah, expect the usual touring car fireworks into the first few corners, and we'll see possibly a new running order as we head down the back straight.
Now, historically, Jamie Rushworth has done very well at Road America. He managed to snipe a victory last season in which there was a start-finish line fracas, shall we say, on the penultimate lap. He kept it clean, everybody else got involved in that, and he got a win as a result of that. Whether he can repeat that, we'll have to find out. But this is going to be round 16, in which Jamie Rushworth will be starting from the pole position. Lopez is second on the grid. He is going to be... well, we know he doesn't hesitate to move to the front, does he, if he absolutely, by any means necessary.
Yeah, expect him to do something at the start. Well,
we've got 39 cars going to be heading out there to the grid, and new face Julian Familiaris is not familiar to us anyway, but he is down there on the grid in, I don't know which position actually, but he's starting near the back, I think. And that front row then is Rushworth in the number 1, the MovieGo Racing, alongside the blue mirrored eBay Motors car. That's Ade Koba Lopez. And then just behind them, Stefan Hug and Stelian Chepelevsky will be on row 2. And the green lights are on, so round 16 is underway from Road America. Now watch out, this is a long straight, so could be trouble down into turn 1 by the time everyone gets down there, Adam.
Yeah, good start by Jamie Rushworth. He's just managed to hold off a day Koba Lopez as we head into turn 1. Koba Lopez going around the outside, but will he hold on to it? Yes, he does. And Jamie Rushworth manages to hold on the lead, but here comes Lopez. Well, Lopez going to the outside.
Sorry, Smolensky is just off the track there. We've lost one of the KX Momentums, and that is that Steve Richardson, the eBay car, is spun round, and one of the CQRs is off as well. Back to the front though, as you're saying, Koba Lopez looking to get round Rushworth as early as possible to come under that Sargento bridge there on the very first time. We've only got 8 laps to go here, 8 laps in total. Rushworth has it, but here comes a move from Lopez down the inside already. That's not going to work. That was never going to work. But into 4th position is that Savidovic, trying to take that away from Chepelevsky. It is. Well, no, he can't do it. So Katz closes up on the back of that group as well. Terry is in 7th right now, just behind these guys. And already some really strong pressure from Lopez.
Yeah, there was just a bit of contact to the back involving one of the Pertec cars and Yuasa cars, but it looks like everyone's managed to get through the first few corners safely as you head into the carousel right-hander and onto the kink.
Stanimir Zuzov, who qualified so highly, is now down in 35th position. Steve Richardson 36, just behind him. Oh, Aaron Gearing's in the wall. Aaron Gearing already first lap casualty. See if we can find out what happened to the AMD driver here. Just coming down into the corner just before the carousel. Gets it wrong on the brakes. Oh, and he's made contact with one of the Karchers as well. Who is that? Oh, there's another Karcher going off at the same corner. Well, it's not good news for the Karcher team anyway, or Aaron Gearing, but he is now down in 37th, so no casualties yet, but it was touch and go as to whether Gearing will get that one back on the track, I think.
The top 7 have started to make a break away from the rest of the pack as we come around to complete the first lap. They've managed to get quite a bit of a lead on the rest of the field.
Well, top 8, I think. David Baker is the 8th guy in this group, and you can see they're 4 seconds ahead of the rest of the field.
I think they were getting held up by Alexander Smolensky, who's now pulled into the pits.
So Smolensky's off. We saw a first corner incident involving him. Side by side, Simon Field and Reggie Blaine. Reggie Blaine's going to take this one round the outside. Simon Field is now being challenged by Richard Wilde, and that's Reggie Blaine's teammate Brewstrom, who's already up to 12th position. Great drive by Brewstrom so far.
Yes, and Rushworth and Lopez are side by side as we head down the back straight. Stefan Hoogie doesn't know what to do. He's just going to stay in the middle. Who's going to have the top end speed as they head down the back straight? Lopez trying to squeeze Rushworth. Please don't have any contacts. Who's going to get the position? It's going to be Rushworth, but here comes Hoog.
Oh, Rushworth, I thought he was going to run wide there, but it turns out Lopez has come from... Oh, he has to watch out. And well, Hoog backed off there. Did you see that?
Lopez is through. Lopez takes the lead. No, he doesn't. Oh, this is brilliant.
So close, and it's letting the guys behind catch up as well. Chepalevsky's currently in 4th, and you can see how close he was. What's interesting to me is Hoog actually lifted there to allow Lopez to move over rather than force the contact, and that might well have kept both these drivers in this race. So little to choose between them though. Look at Rushworth go. He's struggling to hold on, I'd say, at the moment.
Yes, clever driving by Stefan Hoog. We're only on lap 2. Maybe in the third and final race, maybe he would have gave him a bit of a nudge, but good clean racing as we head down to the kink on lap number 2.
Well, this is such a tricky corner. It's very nearly flat out, as you can hear. A slight lift, unless you really do have the testicular fortitude to pull that off. Lopez dropping back a little bit as we head into Canada corner for the second time. And Savidovic just hasn't given up on Chepalevsky. Gets that very wrong though, and ends up taking a whole load of grass along with his Kia Optima. Kat's just behind in 6th place now. Oh, and Savidovic has gone wide again, 2 corners in a row. What can Katz do from here?
Yes, he's going to be in the slipstream of Savidovic. He's almost going to be bump drafting him as we head down the straight to complete lap number 2. He's having a go.
Well, no defence from Savidovic just yet. He's pulled out very early down this straight, so he's lost the benefit of the draft now, but you can see how much speed he's already carrying through there. And as we start lap 3, they are side by side. Katz will go through and take the position. And Savidovic down to 6th place. That's not where he wanted to be early on in this race, and they've compromised a little bit of that gap. So Chepalevsky is just pulling away from these guys. 1 second ahead. Just looking elsewhere on the field, look at this. Stanimir Zuzov leading this pack with Steve Richardson. And Jeroen Kaiser and Nils Jordan. Very little to choose between these guys. Oh, Richardson's got turn 1 wrong again. And yeah, he's gone very wide there. Oh, and he's in the wall. Richardson's in the wall with somebody else. That's Nils Jordan. See if we can get a better camera view on that. Well, Richardson's getting it going again, I think. Just... Nils Jordan, he's possibly out though. We lost Tim Mawson as well. No, Richardson's car is... Well, he's taken a scenic route. Let's put it that way. He is back on the track. I think that might have knocked him for 6, and he might not have known which way he was supposed to be going after that collision. But let's go back and have another look at that one. There's Richardson, gets it all wrong at turn 1 and goes out wide at him. Comes back on the track with a bit too much welly and actually causes the contact with Nils Jordan's car there and sends them both into the tyres.
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate, that incident there.
Yeah, obviously Richardson not trying to cause that by any means, but ended up well ending Niels Jordan's race anyway. Arguably they're quite far to the back, so they're not going to lose too much in terms of race 2 start position. But Smolenski's out as well. Tim Mawson, what's going on with Tim Mawson at the moment? Because he's in the pits. It looks like some repairs on that Kia Optima right now. Oh, and the two DMR teammates there, Dan Hunt and Rob Plumley, single file at the moment. But maybe Plumley thinks he's got the pace. I don't know. He might well want to get round because it's going to be an extending gap now forward.
Ongoing battle now for the 10th reverse grid pole spot between Reggie Blaine and Simon Field. Those two are in the slipstream as we head down the straight, but I think Simon Field will hold position.
Yeah, just not got the draft to get past the Movigo driver this time round. Field is in 10th right now, but looks like he wants to keep on moving up, and Blaine's taking a very defensive line there. You guys are going to have to watch out for Richard Wilde, who's right behind you right now, and the two of them still side by side. Anytime you go too wide into a corner like that, you're compromising exit speed, and Richard Wilde knows that very well. He's backing Simon Field at the moment, but he switched sides.
Yeah,
So-
it looked like Reggie Blaine was about to be hung out to dry there, but I think he might be able to hold on to 10th position. But they go wide, and there's going to be contact.
Oh, door bang in there from Reggie Blaine as Simon Field squirms to get back on the track. It's a forceful way to take back 9th position, wasn't it?
Yeah, there's a bit of contact there, but thankfully they didn't spin each other around and they've managed to carry on battling.
Now, further down the field, Matt Walker with Ben Gregory and Peter Van Gool. Van Gool currently picking up the back of this group. Gregory is there. He is currently in 20th position. It's a good battle so far, and Matt Walker's really struggling this season. He's he's down in 19th with a KX drive, and no Sebastian Job this time around, so no Matt Walker's teammate for some reason.
Yeah, he's going to be out on his own for this race weekend. A bit of cars going on the grass that look like one of the Movigo cars as we headed through the kink.
Well, we're just looking at Robert Plumley now, who's got his hands full with Linus Brewstrom and Nick McCarron. That's Brewstrom down the inside of McCarron to take 14th. Robert Plumley in 13th at the moment.
Bostrom started 21st on the grid, so he's now in 14th place. Good start over the first few laps.
Well, he was in 12th at one stage, so he's lost a couple of positions, perhaps a mistake at some point. But still, 7 position gain is nothing to be sniffed at. He needs to get in that top 10 though to really be competitive in race 2, Adam.
Yeah, he needs to. And on the last lap, Adeko Lopez was 0.3 of a second quicker than Jamie Rushworth.
So there's Rushworth, currently race leader. They're coming up to some traffic though. Just trying to find out who that is. That's Andrew Whitehead with Steve Hefford just up in front of them on the circuit. And they look like they're having a battle of their own, so they're not obliged to move out of the way if they're fighting for position. Otherwise they would be. But I think that, well, judging by how easily Whitehead's got through there, maybe Hefford's got a problem with his car.
Here comes Lopez. Rushworth ran a bit wide. Will Lopez have a go up to the top of the hill? He's up down the inside. This is going to be very close. Down into the next corner. Will Lopez go around the outside? No, he won't.
Well, down to turn 7 there, Lopez didn't have enough, did he? Rushworth left him room at 6. And that was the interesting thing. But choosing to defend this line instead into the carousel. Oh, and that's close, isn't it? I think Lopez wants to take the back bumper of Rushworth's car home with him, and Andrew Whitehead does actually get out of the way alongside Steve Hefford.
Good job.
Probably very wise to do that. Rushworth doesn't look like he's holding these guys up though, even though Lopez is sniffing around for that lead. These guys behind aren't able to really bunch up yet, so that might indicate that they literally are all this fast.
Yeah, Hoog now seems to be getting pretty forceful with Adeko Lopez. I don't know whether he thinks he can go faster than him and get past Rushworth, but he's right onto the back of the eBay Motors car.
Well, Stefan Hug getting past Lopez. That would be a move we'd be talking about for some time. He might well have the draft here though, you never know. Let's have a look from the onboard camera. Not the best exit from Hug. Lopez got a great exit, and he does have Rushworth's draft in front. So this should even itself out really. And there's really nothing to choose between these guys in terms of pace on the track. Lopez possibly trying to put Rushworth off with a little jink down the inside there.
Yeah, and Hug's now compromised his position because here comes Chepelevsky in the Yuasa car down the inside as we head into turn 2. Will he get it? I don't know whether Hug will try and hang out around the outside. Yes, he is, and they're going to be side by side as we head down the back straight.
Andreas Katz just behind as well, so Hug hangs on to third position, but they're still too wide. I think Katz is going to mount a challenge here on Chepelevsky. The two old rivals are still toe-to-toe. Only 3 laps to go here. Chepelevsky's got the outside line. He's going to lose out here. We thought he was going past Hug, but he's dropped down past Katz, so he's down to 5th position. Savidovic still in 6th, but looking threatening, and that's how quickly the tables can turn at him.
Yeah, Chepelevsky hung out to dry now, and now he's coming under the pressure of Adam Terry in the STP Bianco car.
That's Savidovic just behind him, and Terry's 2.5 seconds behind still, but Terry's still in the top 10 by a long way, so still running well. David Baker just behind, but these guys, oh, and a mistake from Terry there. I was going to say, these guys seem to be running a slightly slower pace than the front group, but David Baker, he's the quiet guy in the top 10, isn't he? We never talk about him because he doesn't have that many incidents, doesn't have that many dramatic overtakes, just gets on with it, but consistent top 10 finisher, and maybe we're about to see why.
Yeah, he's pretty much on his own at the moment. He's got an 11-second lead over Reggie Blaine, who's down in 9th, so he can pretty much run his own race and start third on the grid in race 2.
He might well be starting 4th if he can find his way past Adam Terry. But look at this, up at the front, Lopez is through. Lopez takes the lead. We missed it, just unfortunately. And I wonder if we can go back and have another look at that one on the replay there. Let's have another look at that one. We've rewound the tape just a little bit to give you that overtake. Where is it? That's the question. Now this is the run up to Canada. That tricky right-hander. And Lopez looks to the inside, under the braking.
Oh! Lopez and Jamie Rushworth are both out of the race!
Oh, let's go straight to that because we just about saw the overtake, but what on earth has happened here? Well, Rushworth, well, that car doesn't look too good, does it? Let's have a look on the replay. Lopez with the lead here. Oh, contact from behind. That's Andreas Katz. Katz making contact with the back of Rushworth, which sends him like a swinging pendulum into the back of Lopez, and they're both off the circuit. More contact as the cars continue to spin. Rushworth gets a little bit luckier. He gets back on the track straight away, but there's going to be damage on that car.
More contact. Chepelevsky and Savidovic have both gone off.
Well, you're calling the shots faster than we can cover them here. Oh, and Chepelevsky's made contact with Lopez coming back onto the track. Lopez has been taken out for the 2nd time, and it's all gone to hell out there at Road America. Let's have another look at that one from Chepelevsky's point of view here. Well, Chepelevsky side by side with Savidovic. I wouldn't say forced him off the track, but a bit of door banging. Oh dear. Yeah, those two guys need to leave each other a little bit more room. And then just look at this. Chepelevsky gets the car back on the track at the wrong moment. And that's ended Lopez's chances.
However, Lopez is, on my timing screens, in 10th position, which could be pole position for race 2.
Very uncharacteristic from Stelian Chepelevsky to come back on the track without first looking. But he must have felt pretty hard done by, as that's promoted Savidovic to 3rd, but that's pretty controversial, Adam.
It's all gone crazy in these last 2 laps, and we've still got another lap to go as Stefan Hug comes out of the final corner to start the final lap ahead of Andreas Katz, Wojciech Savidovic in 3rd, Adam Terry 4th, David Baker 5th, Jamie Rushworth in 6th position.
And those positions just up on your screen now as we head over the timing line. They will update Well, Hoog must be thinking, thanks very much, guys.
Yeah, we saw action like this at Spa when the leaders came together and then one of the Pertec cars ended up taking all the spoils, and now Stefan Hoog looks like he's going to get a win.
Well, Savidovic and Adam Terry are both on the same team, the STP Bianco team, and they are in, I think your mic's stuck open there. Ah, there we go. Savidovic and Terry are both in the STP Bianco team, and they're in 3rd and 4th at the moment, so good points haul for them. Hoog and Baker, 1st and 5th right now. And well, I just slightly lost for words seeing so many of these top drivers making what I'd call basic errors, really. And, well, causing a whole load of carnage. But last lap, Stefan Hoog, 2.5 seconds out in front. He can't really lose this from here, Adam.
Yeah, well, who knows? This is touring car racing. I think Stefan Hoog has got it in the bag.
Well, Katz is the guilty party amongst all of this. I wonder if we might be able to get a word with him as well and find out. I'm sure it was a genuine mistake, of course, but he has taken out the 2 race leaders, and it was if you were going to do it deliberately, you wouldn't have been able to do it better than that, taking out 2 cars in one corner, would you?
No, I think it was a bit unfortunate that Ade Kober-Lopez was involved. I thought Rushworth was going to miss him. Just to catch up on Rushworth, Rushworth is now on the back of David Baker on the final lap. Can he get 5th position?
Well, I'm just having a look at Reggie Blaine now, because Reggie Blaine is off the circuit. We didn't see why, but here's the replay. Yeah, contact from behind from the 2.6, and that's Simon Field. Simon Field getting into the back of Reggie Blaine, taking him off the circuit, and Blaine again coming back on the track. A little bit too hot, and he needs to be really careful. Didn't cause any problems this time, unlike Chepelevsky, but that was very close. Well, Stefan Hoog, really, without earning it, except by some blistering qualifying pace to put him in a good position 3rd on the grid, is going to take the first victory. Over the line he goes, and that is the win for Stefan Hoog. It should have been Rushworth, really. Kat 2nd, Savidovic 3rd, Terry 4th. David Baker's coming over the line now with Rushworth just behind, so 6th place for Rushworth. Simon Field, that's a controversial one as well. He's got 7th out of that, but by virtue of seemingly taking out Reggie Blaine for Movigo Racing. Lopez gets 9th, I believe, and Blaine will get 10th, so pole position for Blaine in the next race. Well, I mean, we always say the 3rd race is the most exciting, but how can it top that, Adam?
I didn't want to say it during the race, but it did look like it was building up towards something happening, and then it just did. Unbelievable. Well,
fantastic finish there. And the top 10 are on your screen right now. Well, that's definitely an interesting finish. I lack the adjectives really to describe that sort of controversial excitement, and we're used to seeing the top guys a little bit more consistent than that, perhaps, Adam.
Yeah, I've just been looking at the driver chat. Andreas Katz says, "So sorry." Maybe that's aimed at the crash on the penultimate lap.
Well, let's go over and have a word with Triple Eight driver Simon Field, if he'll speak to us after the race. Hello, Simon.
Hi, Chris. Long time.
It has indeed been a long time. A 7th place for you in this race, so a good result for you. But it's a little bit of contact with Reggie on the last lap there.
Well, I have to admit that's really not the way I wanted to end that race. He went round a lap car, and I went to go round him. Whether he braked a bit early for it or what, I don't know. I really didn't intend to knock him off. That's that's not the way I do things. People know that, but it doesn't help him much, I don't imagine.
Well, they do indeed know that you are a very safe driver. We've seen that on plenty of occasions, but there was a lot of contact in that race and a lot of talking points. So the driver chat, obviously, some of that's going to have to be sorted out between now and the second race.
Well, it'll be interesting. I gave as good as I got. I got a couple of biffs off Reggie. I gave him a couple of nudges back, but that incident at the last lap, that was not that at all. That was purely, I don't know whether I braked late or he braked early. We came together, and like I say, I'm not happy with myself having done it. I don't like finishing races that way. Nobody does, but I'll go off and apologise to him and see how we get on.
Well, 7th place puts you 4th on the grid for race 2, and it'll be a while since you've been sort of quite so high up. Is there a chance you might be able to take this second race?
Not a chance, not with the wing I'm setting. Every time I pass Reggie, as soon as we got to a straight, he passed me back. Those Movie-Go cars are obviously running a very low wing setup, and I'm on a higher wing, which is great through the corners, as you can see. I'm all over them, but as soon as I get to a straight, I just get left. Without a toe, I've no hope. So we'll see how it goes. I might risk another click of wing off and see what happens.
So race 2 really, Simon, is all about perseverance and finishing rather than winning.
Top 10, get points. Anything better than 10th is better. I was expecting 10th in this one. I really don't know how I ended up 7th, but like I say, points in the bag. That's what I'm after.
Thanks a lot, Simon.
You're welcome.
Simon Field there, driving for 888. And top 30, well, they're just up on your screen right now, and that was a very exciting race, but reverse top 10 for the next race. I did say Reggie Blaine came in 10th, but that's not true. He came in 11th, so it's going to be a slightly different order. We will go through that at the start of the broadcast for race 2, which is coming your way in about 10 minutes time here on BSRTV. So from me and Adam here in the commentary box, thanks very much for watching this one, and we'll see you in a moment.